It's Mortal Kombat time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Storm Collectibles Kintaro. Yeah, we're bringing back to Mortal Kombat with Storm Collectibles. And I've been a big fan of the line, and what they're really shine at is creating some big, beefy monsters, and none better than the four-armed Shokan Kintaro. So this one is big, this one is bulky, very muscular, and I can't wait, so let's have a look at it. Oh boy, this is why I love Storm Collectibles. He's big. How big? He stands at about 25 centimeters to the top of the head, which means we are going up to 8 inches tall? Yeah, big. Size comparisons. Here's Daughter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, NECA Michelangelo, Storm Collectibles Ryu, and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and Darkseid. So one thing right off the bat, I'm happy that they're using Kintaro from Mortal Kombat 2 or 3, I don't quite remember when he showed up. But the thing is, in more modern Mortal Kombats, they made him look more and more like a cat. You know, taking all the grim-looking, golem-looking face out of it and just made him look more like a cat, which is stupid. Now I get it, he has the tiger stripes, and from the get-go, he was a little bit more like the, I want to say lesser Goro to some fans, because it's the same design and they just made like a weird face on it, and there you go, added some shoulder pads. And in lore, I guess this is like an inferior type of the Shokan. Now enough about that, let's have actually look at the figure. And while this face is somewhat wonky, it kind of... First of all, it kind of has some Thundercats vibe. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I do like the yellow eyes, and I don't really know about the lipstick. Now the figure itself has some nice shading. You have like the red kind of covering the rest of it. And as I'm saying, it looks like more like a golem or... Okay, while I'm editing this, I'm wondering, why do I keep saying golem? I probably thought of the word goblin. He has a face like a goblin, but I couldn't think of it when I did the review. It just dawned on me while editing this actually. It's alright. Then we have the big spiky shoulder pads, which are nicely molded. They are soft plastic, so there's not really any shading on it. I would have liked some dirt effect or whatever, but I don't know. They have like Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. Maybe there's like a bloody version of it, which I don't really care if I just want the figure, but it just took me back to like when Storm Collectibles started off. They were smashing like dirt effects left and right on just like everything. Yeah, they kind of completely stopped doing that, which is unfortunate. The muscle work on this one is something to behold. I mean, look at all the detail that goes through his skin. Even like the molding on the skin itself looks pretty realistic. And that's really cool. You have like the small nipples, which are also painted on, and this weird kind of ninja star in the middle. Now the entire belt, I feel like, is connected somewhere, or not. You might be able to take it off if you want to play around with these things, you know, if you want to customize it. I think you would be able to take this off. The shoulder pads, they are connected to the belts, but nowhere else. So this seems to me like it's completely floaty, unless it's connected somewhere in the front. No, it's not connected in the front either. There is like there seems to be a hole under there though. But yeah, that's just for science purposes. I'm not gonna take this guy apart. And we have the big tiger striped arms with the spiky bracelet on there. Has the same molding as shoulder pad. Looks amazing. The arms, some might say this is kind of cheap, but they are completely recycled. As you can see, the veins go the exact same line, the exact same way on both sides. Now, I don't know if I should complain about it or not. Personally, it doesn't really bother me that much, because I know how this is. Like with figures, I don't really expect them to make a different arm on each side. So, I mean, you have to have... I guess at least the second one could be a little bit different, could have the veins somewhere else, but still, they molded the same arm twice on both sides, and that's it. There's nothing I can do about it. So, moving down to the belt with a yin-yang symbol on there, and a surprisingly nice butt. I don't know, it's just like, look at the cake, look at it standing out. These pants are way too tight, and it's kind of weirding me out, so I'm just moving on with that. We have another vein on this side. At least the legs don't have the vein on the same side, or do they? Nope. Okay. So, well, they look similar in the front. Now I'm too focused on the veins. Still, also, by the way, I love the red on the side everywhere. I mean, I talked about it on the face, but it also has like a nice, like going over into the brighter tones and like the flesh tones. I love how it's segregated, so to speak. And we down to the knee pads, which have the same mold on there. And what's keeping them together is just painted on the side. The joints are not painted, but that's fine. Painted joints are stupid anyway because it's just gonna flake off. And down to his giant freaking paws. And by the way, yeah, the paint job on here is exquisite. I don't see any blemishes. I don't see anything going over the line. And this thing just overall has a presence. Just because of its size anyway, the big arms, and let's see how the articulation fares. Well, if you know Storm articulation, guess what? Nothing has changed. There are some interesting parts though. So, the head is usually on a ball joint, which has a long pack that goes into the neck. So the head itself is very limited, but the entire neck is soft plastic, so if you really push it down, you get this weird noise. You get it forward very nicely, and you move it to the back, the plastic neck moves around with it, and then move it side to side as well, and that's how it gets around. That's how it gets stuffed on. The shoulder pads don't have anything, they're just packed on there, but since they're floaty, they don't get in the way of your arm articulation. You have a hinge that ends on a ball, and you can move it around in the socket in there, nicely covered up by also this floaty piece. And as you can tell, the chest is soft plastic. You can kind of adjust it so it doesn't look supernatural, but you can also rotate it in here and then bring it all the way around, and then you also have the hinge in there to bring it forward and upwards and wherever you want to go. Then you got the bicep swivel, which is a little bit blocked because of the big muscle. I'm trying to get a hold on there, but goes all the way around actually. The double hinged elbow goes up all the way, and the fist is on a ball hinge, which you can bring back and forth and rotate around. Now his bracelet over here, again, is not connected anywhere, so you could take it off and you can rotate it in whichever direction you want. Now one thing that's kind of interesting is, like, you would think that the lower shoulder, the lower arm also moves the same direction. No, it doesn't, because the torso area with the abs on here is hard plastic. As such, back and forth movement is not really available. For the rest of it, it's still the same. It's still in a ball peg in there, and you still have the hinge, and everything else in the arm is the same, obviously. But the shoulder part itself, well, it's not. Is it still a shoulder if it comes out of the torso? You be the judge of that. But yeah, that doesn't really work as much as the front part. And also, let's see, back and forth on the chest is fairly limited, unless I can't get a good grip on it. But it gets forward and gets to the back. It's really hard to move around with all the plastic and all that. But trying to get this, I don't really see much. It goes, can use it as a swivel, but not all the way. It does tilt side to side, and it does go back and forth somewhat, but it's also fairly limited. But considering the size, that's not the worst thing in the world. Now for the legs. Also limited, you have the soft crotch piece, the soft pantsu, but since it's so tight, I feel like it's pulling back on it a little bit too much. And okay, I'm getting a workout here. This is really stiff. The joints are also, as I'm saying, stiff, and I have not anything that's wobbly in the slightest. So I'm trying to get the leg out to a maximum. I think that's as much as it goes. I don't want to force it anymore because the noise it makes in there is terrifying. So, and then we go to the back, and you can also rotate it on the ball. So then you have the double hinged knee, goes up all the way. Is there anything more to that? No, that's all it got. And the one thing, well, let's see. I want to go back on it. Yeah, you have a hinge for the foot, and for Goro, there was a big problem that he didn't have a pivot. They fixed it. We have a pivot, so that's great, especially for the big guy. The pivot, as I'm saying, it is stiff and everything, and it stays in place. However, trying to balance him, it can kind of buckle a little bit under all this weight, which It's to be expected, but you know, I just tried around with it. And then you have also a toe hinge, but still fairly solid, even if it's limited in some parts. But let me just try to get him on his feet real quick, and you can see he can be a bit wobbly, but that's due to the size. He still holds the pose if you put him in there correctly. So anyway, having such a big beast of a monster, you would think he doesn't have a lot of accessories. Well, you don't know Storm Collectibles, because they went above and beyond, and for whatever reason, I just gotta get over it. First and foremost, I'm standing up for this actually, because I want to feature the whole wide of it. So we have the faces. You have the yelling face and the gritting teeth face. I love the detail also inside of the mouth for this one. So then we have that, and then for hands, I mean, these ones are like just kind of open posing hands. That's some classic stuff. I don't even know what's different with these ones. It looks like it's pretty much the same set of hands, which is very confusing. And then you have these kind of grabbing hands, which, is there any difference between this one and the lower one? Let's see, let's find out. No, it literally seems like you... Oh yeah, of course, he has 4 arms. Idiot! Oh my god. Okay, my brain didn't work. Of course he has 4 hands for each side because he has 4 arms. Anyway, moving on to all of this. Now, I don't even know why they did this. Somebody must hate Sub-Zero, or they just find it funny. So first and foremost, you have like the base for like the energy effects. I hate this, but you have the base and you have like all these peg holes, and you have like different pieces to combine it in, to stack it up on each other. I hate these. It's so flimsy and it's stupid. But however, you know, if you want to display your energy effects, you can do it. This thing does have a hole down there, and it's a decent looking energy effect. Has some yellow, has some red in there. But yeah, whatever. Then all of I don't even know what this is. You have like a spine, bloody spine, and there's 2 more blood effects, and this is for Sub-Zero. If you want to have Sub-Zero and have him ripped apart, so what I guess, okay, let's have the Sub-Zero figure in hand. Let me try this out. These guys don't come with instructions, so I just have to make this up myself. So you have his arms getting ripped out, and whatever we have with this, where does this go? It probably goes on his head. Yeah, you have like the entire neck part is kind of sticking out. So you get this. While the spine, well, would the spine still hang out like that? Probably not, but it's Mortal Kombat, right? So that's the blood effects, which are pretty gruesome. They actually have a lot of dirt on there. Why are they putting dirt on that and not on the figure? Looks pretty gruesome, looks pretty violent. So you have that, and like, this is insane. I'm like, bruh. You have like 2 sides of Sub-Zero's head, but like pulled apart. Cause yeah, I just this is effed up, but it's kind of funny. And then you have all these Sub-Zero hands. You have like grabby hands, posing hands, open hands, and kind of like karate hands, or just the fist hands with the arms. These ones, I think that was like a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, like Sub-Zero version where he had the ice hands. And then it just said, fuck it, let's put it all in this pack. Let's have you mutilate your Sub-Zero and at least give you the ice hands for no reason whatsoever. This would have been fine, but they were like, no, we're gonna put this all in there. Okay, you could say, well, they're just trying to rack up the price, and they're selling stuff that they already produced for the Sub-Zero for no freaking reason. And I would be right, but I still find it extremely funny. And I'm just happy that I got the ice hands for Sub-Zero. I mean, I have the figure, so I'm gonna use them. Final thoughts, but before I do, there's actually, oh god, there's a swivel down here, but you can hear it. I don't know if it's supposed to be ratchet or if it's just broken. I hate these sounds. Like, it stays in place, but Jesus, I just don't break off, please. Please, mister. Also, like, here's Sub-Zero with the ice hands if you want to do that. You know, I'm just gonna have him display like that. I don't have him mangled by Kintaro over here, because that's just mean, bro. So, overall thoughts of this figure, I love it. I love the size of it, I love the articulation. Now, obviously, we can subtract some points because they recycled the arm 4 times. I guess I gotta re-mention that, but even though I'm not too bothered by it. It looks great, the paint on it is perfect. It's kind of like, though, unclear. We have some parts where I don't even know what's going on over here. There seems to be a little bit of silver, I guess from the shoulder pads. And there's also a little bit maybe in the back here and there. but it's not too noticeable. And the more I look at it, there's more of that. Okay, so we got some more in the back, but yeah, it's beautifully molded, articulates well. It has just a crap ton of accessories, which you wouldn't even need. But again, I feel like the extra pack for Sub-Zero, I appreciate it. Obviously, for everybody who doesn't have Sub-Zero, you're not really doing much with it. You're not really doing anything with it. So, you know, to rack up the price of stuff like that and to add extras for a figure you might not have does kind of suck. For me personally, I really recommend them. I feel like it's a great figure and it looks amazing, just the presence of it. However, I can understand though that there's some additions that they weren't really necessary. So I think only get this one if A, you're a huge fan of Kintaro, or B, you already have Sub-Zero, so actually the accessories do something for you. Otherwise, you know, the figure itself is still great, so can't hate on it too much. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Kintaro wants.